Hello and welcome to my second ever Doctor Who spin-off review. Way back when I first covered The Web of Fear, I reviewed Downtime because it was a sequel story of sorts to The Abominable Snowman and Web of Fear. That one was quite good. Goofy for sure, but obviously being a non-canonical spin-off with essentially the budget of a high-grade fan film, I mean, it was to be expected. Well, at the time of making this, I had just covered Terror of the Zygons, which was the final appearance of our old pal Sergeant Benton. I was aware of this one's existence, but I wanted to wait until I had seen his final canonical appearance before covering it. Will it be as good as Downtime? Will it do my beloved Benton justice? Will it leave a legacy worth remembering?
My name is John!
No.
I don't have a musical intro.
What we have here is, I believe, the first ever unofficial Doctor Who spin-off. Wartime from 1988 is a half-an-hour short film that sees actor John Levene return to play Sergeant Benton once again. Rather than use the term fan film, I prefer to call it a spin-off, because when you go through the effort of getting an alien or an actor from the official series to feature in your film, it adds a certain gravitas to it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's any good. Yeah, whereas Downtime had Sarah Jane Smith, the Brigadier, Victoria, and Professor Travers, as well as the Yeti, this one just has the one returning actor. Although, I'll say up front, it's not fair for me to compare Wartime to Downtime. Same production studio, Real-Time Pictures, but different budgets and vastly different circumstances. Most notably, this was made and released in 1988, when Doctor Who was still on television. Yeah, imagine that. You've just seen the 7th Doctor say goodbye to Mel on the television, and you're excitedly waiting for the new season to see what this new companion Ace is going to be like. When you hear about this VHS spin-off, featuring an actor who played a unit soldier from 13 years ago that you might remember? What a time to be alive, I guess. Alright, enough beating around the bush. This one was hard as heck to find. There was no way I was going to waste time tracking down a worn-out VHS or one of the ultra-rare novelizations. At least Downtime is up on YouTube. Okay, I'll stop talking about Downtime now. I'm even avoiding just talking about this, but this is a review after all, so I guess I'd better get reviewing. Well, let's just say there's a reason why there haven't been any serious efforts in making this one more readily available. The nicest thing I can say about Wartime is that I believe the filmmakers were attempting to make an earnest exploration into Benton's grief and trauma. How do they go about doing that? Ghosts. Yes, ghosts. Within mere minutes of this short film, the viewer is gifted to truly terrible special effects. I had to remind myself that, hey, this is like a low-budget, unofficial production from the 80s. So it's not too surprising. But they are bad. The whole thing has a surreal, ethereal air about it. It's all so dreamlike in the sense that you can't quite believe what you're seeing. It really feels like you're watching a South Park parody. Like, I don't want to say it's bad, because it feels so mean calling this anomaly from so long ago bad, but despite whatever went into the making of this, it really does have all the hallmarks of a bad C-movie. The acting is peak cheese, the overactingest of overacting. So insanely melodramatic. I don't necessarily blame the actor, it was probably no doubt a result of the directing. Very much on par with films I made as a teenager. And the effects, well, I mean, they speak for themselves. You must all be wondering, well, what's the plot? Well, I'm going to tell you what little story there actually is, because I'm telling you now, it is not worth the hassle of digging deep in the web to try and find a copy of this short film. Unless you are truly dead set keen on it. Brace yourself, this is going to get bonkers. So, Benton and another unit soldier have been sent on a mission to escort dangerous goods to Unit HQ. I'm sorry. You've got potentially deadly cargo on board, and you send 2 soldiers to escort it. Unit soldiers, no less, known for being expendable and not very good at their jobs. Oh well, don't be surprised when things inevitably go wrong. And they do, immediately, when the driver pulls over, pops the hood, and starts mucking around for no reason. The Jeep was fine a few seconds ago, with no signs of trouble, so I guess the driver just felt like mucking around with the engine for a bit. Oh, and Benton's having flashbacks of his childhood and visions of his dead brother when they were kids. Yeah, it goes in that direction. Oh, because they conveniently pulled over, broke down near where Benton used to play with his brother when they were young, which is conveniently near his brother's gravesite, which is conveniently near where his brother died on accident while playing. Conveniently. The whole time, Benton is overacting like a madman. Also, he just leaves his loaded rifle lying around when there's kids nearby. But it's okay, because the kids aren't really there. Ghost kids. Then he gets shot. But he's not dead. Next, the ghost of his dead father bullies him for some reason. Then Benton relives his father's death, which he wasn't present for, because his father died at war, so ghosts are really good illusionists. He relives his kid brother's death too, realizes it wasn't his fault, then returns to the Jeep just in time to stop some random bloke from stealing the gear they were hauling before driving off. What a freaking random story. Ghostly visages of his dead family, melodramatic acting, terribly unfitting music. I mean, just try and concentrate when this is blaring in your ears. Such a weird thing to exist. It's very dumb. Like I said, I can kind of see what they might have been going for heading into it, but it doesn't change the finished product. This was made and released on VHS in 1988. Then it was revised and re-released on VHS in 1997. A DVD came out in 2015, and that novelization I mentioned earlier, that actually came out this year, 2023. But despite that, it's even more impossibly hard to find. The only trivia worth mentioning is that there is a brief voiceover cameo from Nicholas Courtney as Brigadier Lethbridge-Stewart that acts as an introduction to the short film. Now, Wikipedia is super confusing, as it seemingly contradicts itself. In one sentence, it says that the voiceover cameo was added in the 1997 revised re-release VHS, but then in another paragraph, it mentions how it was always in the introduction. Which one is true? It's so frustratingly confusing, but you know what? I don't care. I will never watch this again. I have no interest in it outside of this review. I want to say I'll never even think of it again, but truth be told, bad stuff normally sticks around in my mind a lot more than stuff I actually like. So I guess this will sit alongside the Reign of Terror, the Massacre of St. Bartholomew's Eve, the Smugglers, and other Doctor Who related content that I wish I could forget. Is that mean? Probably. Well, thank you very much for watching. I'm not going to have the usual end screen, so I guess I'll put the downtime review up there if you want to see like an actual good Doctor Who spin-off review. I just finished my Terror of the Zygons review, and will be working on my Planet of Evil review. So, yeah, feel free to click on any of those. Hope you have a good day.